Is the answer yes or not? Adam Schiff leans in, the room goes silent, and the nominee can't give a straight answer. This exchange exposes a massive question about your personal data and whether Congress would even be told if the law was broken. Watch this carefully.
Senator Schiff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wilk, during your time as acting Deputy Undersecretary at FNS, the agency demanded that states provide USDA with personal data belonging to tens of millions of SNAP recipients and applicants. This information includes names, birthdays, addresses, Social Security numbers, and immigration status. The guidance also states that USDA has the authority to disclose any of this personal data to any government entity they deem necessary, including foreign governments. Mr. Wilk, can you tell us what the legal authority is that USDA is relying on to collect, store, and share the personal data of tens of millions of Americans, including Social Security numbers, home addresses, simply because they received or applied for SNAP benefits?
Senator, I appreciate that question. My understanding is there were 4 requests for state data, for state recipient data. One of the requests was made in May, and so I was at FNCS. But as I recall, I had no involvement in drafting or issuing that particular request. But I was aware of what was going on, and I would say I know that there is a lawsuit brought by numerous attorneys generals, and I hesitate to give my opinion in terms of what that authority might be because that may be an issue in the case.
Mr. Walk, if confirmed, are you committed to reviewing this policy independently, objectively, to ensure that it does not violate federal privacy laws, which protect Americans' personal data and identities?
Sir, I appreciate that question, and I will say that I think the collection of data itself is something that we need to look at in general. As a 24-year federal employee, I certainly understand the privacy implications and that we have laws that protect data throughout the information life cycle from collection to transmission to storage to disposal. And I want to make sure that as we use the data technologies, which carries promise, that we also make sure that we deploy them in a way that abides by the law.
I think part of the challenge that many of us have is the Inspector Generals across the federal government were fired. No cause was provided, no notice was provided. And we need those positions to be people of independence and the strength of character to blow the whistle if something is going on that is inappropriate, unethical, or unlawful. Were you to determine that either this policy, this collection of data violated the law, or some other practice did, are you prepared to inform Congress that the agency is operating in violation of law or ethics?
Senator, the Inspector General Act requires that the Inspector General keeps Congress currently and fully informed of all deficiencies and problems in its operations, so I will follow that statute.
Is the answer yes, then? If you were to find this policy or another policy in violation of the law, would you inform Congress?
Senator, yes, I would fulfill my obligation to Congress.
So you would inform Congress?
If I would have informed Congress of our findings, yes.
Okay. You seem reluctant to make that commitment. It shouldn't be difficult. If you discover there's a violation of law going on and you're required by statute to inform Congress, you should inform Congress, and there shouldn't be any hesitation about it. Let me just ask briefly in the time that I have left, Ms. Harrell, thank you for being here today and for meeting with my staff. Senator Smith and I, along with other members of the committee, sent a letter to USDA inquiring about the nature of canceled grants, according to a June 17 departmental announcement. I'm deeply concerned that these cancellations have directly impacted farmers in my state and other states and adversely impacted their ability to sustain and grow their businesses. We have yet to receive a response. Can you assure our offices that we will get an answer to that inquiry and others that we direct to you?
Yes, thank you, Senator. And in my opening remarks, I had mentioned that it is the priority to be responsive. Responsiveness has to be the first priority for OCR because we need to be working collaboratively so that you have correct information to share with your constituents. And I myself, you weren't here at the time, I myself, as a member of the House, had had a letter of inquiry over at OCR, and it took over 600 days for a response. Completely unacceptable. So I understand the importance of getting this information to you quickly. I believe we can modernize the way we're responding. And if confirmed, again, the responsiveness will be our first priority to ensure you have the information you need.
Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chair.
At the center of this exchange is a deeply unsettling issue. The USDA demanded personal data from tens of millions of SNAP recipients, names, addresses, social security numbers, even immigration status, and claimed authority to share it with any government entity they choose, including foreign governments. Schiff presses the nominee on one simple question. If this violates the law, will you tell Congress? What follows isn't reassurance, it's hesitation. The nominee repeatedly circles the issue, citing lawsuits, process, and statutory language, but avoids the clarity Schiff is demanding. That hesitation triggers Schiff's sharpest moment. It shouldn't be difficult. Because it isn't. Inspectors General are supposed to be the last line of defense when agencies overreach. They are required by law to inform Congress when violations occur, especially when Americans' private data is involved. This moment matters because it cuts to the core of oversight. If watchdogs hesitate, who's watching the government? Schiff's final push forces the answer into the open, but not before exposing the uncomfortable reality that transparency only works when officials are willing to say yes without flinching. This wasn't theater. This was a test of independence, and millions of Americans' data hangs in the balance.